Good morning and welcome back to DR Sports. Happy Easter Monday if you are celebrating Easter, of course. Myself, AGT, here with the weekend wrap-up, as well as Mr. DR. Don Robert, how are you?
We shouldn't even be here.
But we're working,
We
Rob.
should be chilled, man.
We should be.
It's a holiday. It's a big holiday day in the UK. Driving down here today, I've never seen the roads that empty since when we had COVID. That's the last time I've seen the roads that quiet. But happy Easter to everybody. And it was a great weekend of football, especially if you're a Liverpool fan like yourself. Not so good for me. Chaos in the top four race. We'll talk about that. We're going to go and talk about that. And, but there was some great FA Cup games. And we now know who are going to play in the final. Liverpool versus Chelsea.
Exactly.
The quadruple is still on.
Still is on it. And like Doyle said, it is not off. It's still on till it's off. That's exactly what he said. Listen, we'll save that answer for later on in the show. Let's build it up first. But yeah,
I will
Robbie
be
is
pressing
right.
him later on. You know what I mean? I don't want a little half-hearted thing.
No, listen,
I want to find out whether they can do it or not. But we'll talk about that later.
I'll give you a proper answer. Don't worry about that. Big up to everyone involved in the comments already. And Robbie is right. We shouldn't be working here today. But as RSH14 says, Don Robbie consistently uploading. Great channel. We're here for you on a Monday.
Thank you, man. We're just getting started, bro. You know what I mean?
Trust me.
But no, wicked. Let's jump into it.
Let's get into it then, shall we? Let's start off at Wembley. The second semi-final yesterday. Chelsea 2, Crystal Palace 0. We saw the Chelsea fans, we saw the Palace fans really enjoying their day out yesterday, Rob. It's the first time Palace have been at Wembley, I think, since the 2016 FA Cup final against United. They were loud. They definitely beat Chelsea in terms of, creating the best atmosphere around the stadium. Amazing fans that they really do have, Palace. But they lost yesterday 2-0. Is this result for Chelsea really important for them? Because it now means that Tuchel has taken them, I think it's to 6 finals available out of 11.
Yeah.
Which is
Since he's been there.
and he's only been there about 18 months.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Some record that. Is this something that they can hang their hat on now? Because third place is pretty much wrapped up in the Premier League. They've got a massive, they're out of the Champions League, obviously. Is this their only hope now? Until the end of the season?
They have won a trophy this season because they won the
World Club Cup.
The World Club Cup. But that's a 3-team competition, isn't it? Like this, if they win the FA Cup, plus there's a rivalry between them and Liverpool, they want to stop Liverpool from doing any quadruples or trebles or anything like that. They'll look on that as a decent season. It's a weird one with Chelsea because really and truly at the start of the season there were a lot of people tipping them to win the title.
There were.
Remember they bought in Lukaku. They spent a lot of money. They strengthened the squad. They were the champions of Europe. And just go back and look. Go back and look at the start of the season. Go back and look what everyone was saying. A lot of people had Chelsea as their favourites. So they've not really got anywhere near Liverpool and Man City. So they'll be really disappointed with that. They went out in the Champions League. It's no disgrace to go out to Real Madrid. It's very hard to repeat that. And they've had all the turmoil going on with Roman Abramovich. But then the turmoil has sort of come late on, innit? It's not like you could even use that as really an excuse why they've dropped off in the league. They had a lot of COVID cases as well. I remember they had a lot of. They've got a few mitigating
and they've had injuries
circumstances
as well. You look at Chilwell, Reece James been out for large parts of the season.
Yeah. They've had some mitigating circumstances, but listen, if they can still salvage a FA Cup out of the season, they'll look on it and say, after all the chaos and everything of this year, that's not a bad achievement. And they kind of, I thought they won. I was a bit disappointed with Crystal Palace yesterday. I have to admit, after the way they played against us, after the way I've seen them play certain teams, really high tempo, going at it, they just were a bit too defensive for me. Didn't really have a go. Looked like they were a bit too fearful of, Chelsea. And then, as soon as Chelsea got that first goal, the game was over as far as I was concerned. And it was a little bit, well done to Palace for doing that great achievement. They're having a great season. But I think there'll be a lot of Palace fans looking at it and thinking, did we really? I mean, we did the watch along. We had Ali on it and Kane. And they were kind of saying that. They were kind of saying that, not taking anything away from what the team's achieved to get that far, knowing that Chelsea are a better team, but we just wanted to see a little bit more. And Was that not having Conor Gallagher in there, who's that guy, leads the press, the high energy? Did that make a difference? It seemed like it did.
Yeah, Crystal Palace fans in the chat, let us know. Were you a bit underwhelmed by the performance yesterday? Yes, as Robbie mentioned, no Conor Gallagher, who his running stats really are incredible. How much he runs, presses from the midfield. Obviously, he wasn't allowed to play yesterday, and I think Tuchel said that he actually bumped into him in a restaurant. And kind of, they spoke about it. They couldn't avoid the obvious, and he was sorry. And he said, "Listen, these are the rules. I don't make them. I just enforce them," kind of thing. So, listen, there was no Gallagher, but no win either for Crystal Palace. No massive attempts on goal. You saw Ruben Loftus-Cheek score a deflected goal.
Well, he actually did hit a little deflection. At first, I was like, "Whoa, screamer!" But he did hit a little deflection. You are right.
And then Mason Mount, Money Mace, as Chelsea fans like to call him, doubles their lead to send them into the FA Cup final to play Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool already beaten Chelsea in one domestic cup final this season. Can they make it 2? Or will Chelsea get that revenge, and will Chelsea stop Liverpool from getting that quadruple? It was a great day at Wembley, though, yesterday. I think the whole weekend has shown that, that love affair with the FA Cup is still alive.
The funny thing about it, right, is that there's still the debate about Wembley, right? So yesterday's was a great spectacle. You saw the Palace fans and everything. I still don't know if the semi-final should be played at Wembley. You know what I mean? I know why they did it at first. They're trying to make back some money after building the stadium. I'd rather see it played at neutral stadiums.
Well, it was Villa Park and Old Trafford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The old days.
What was the point in, Liverpool fan, Manchester City fans travelling all the way down on a bank holiday? There were no trains. No trains, right, because of work that they're doing, right? So you please tell me, and that's why they had to do the game early, which again
doesn't really
takes away from it. You've got a game like that being played at 3:30. You've got all these other kickoffs, big games being played at 3 o'clock. Arsenal are playing, lots of other teams are playing. It takes away the shine from that FA Cup semi-final. You want that to be a game that everybody watches, not that clashing. I mean, the game yesterday didn't clash with anything, so everyone's watching it. But the one on Saturday, I just disagree with it. I think there's enough stadiums now as well. I know we talked about, you just mentioned that the old days of Villa Park and Old Trafford, but I think now there's enough stadiums now where these games can be played in a neutral venue. I mean, you think about it, right? The game yesterday could have been played at the Emirates, it could have been played at Tottenham Stadium, it could have been played at the London Stadium, West Ham. All those stadiums, like 60,000 capacity. Your game could have been played at Man United's ground. It could have been played at Old Trafford.
Even Newcastle.
Yeah, what I mean? It could have been played. There's big enough grounds now where those games don't have to be played at Wembley. And then you save the Wembley, the special game.
For the final. Yeah,
because even yesterday, when they all came out onto the pitch and that, I was thinking at first, where's the band and all that? And I was thinking, oh shit, it's a semi-final. It's not
yeah.
So I don't know.
Let us know in the comments
what people think, but I'd still like to see it. Those standalone games played at a neutral venue. Then you go to Wembley.
I agree. Let us know in the comments. Maybe we do a poll. Should the semi-finals of the FA Cup still be played at Wembley? Robbie mentioned that obviously there's a big bill that Wembley is still paying back after the stadium was made in 2007, I believe it was. Which seems like a long time ago now. So listen, let us know if you want it changed.
I was looking at this comment here from the Spaniard. He says, as a Liverpool fan, I'm glad it was played at Wembley because our fans went home happy, while City fans had that miserable long drive home.
Okay. Well, listen, as we already just said, there were no trains. I'm even struggling to get back up to Liverpool myself today, Rob, after this.
There's no trains today to Liverpool.
There is. They go to Leicester and then it's to Birmingham and then it's to Runcorn and then it's mad.
That's crazy.
It's like 4.5 hours. It really is crazy. The FA got a lot to answer for with these games at the weekend that were no trains for. So let's talk about Liverpool against Manchester City on Saturday. We were here doing the live stream for that, and I have to say that really was one of the best live streams I've done on DR Sports. Right, I was flying over the sofa at one point. There was beers flying everywhere. Doyle was, as Doyle is, just on a mad one.
And you're 3-0 up at half time.
3-0 up at half time.
No, who would have expected that? And then City nearly pulled it back.
Nearly did. Thank goodness
give you a lot of fright.
They definitely did.
Put it two back, but
they definitely did.
I think Liverpool. We had Tom, Man City fan, on the show. We did a preview.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And he said that he feels that Zach Stefan is the best number 2 in the Premier League.
Yeah, I did see that.
Now,
actually.
I think he may need to reassess that based off of that game. He was dreadful. I think if Edison was playing...
But Edison did this last week in the game, and he was this close to the exact same thing to happen.
Yeah, but he didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't, you know what I mean?
He didn't.
And he still had the calmness to retreat. Honestly, I mean, it was a shocking performance by Zach Stefan, mate. You can't take nothing away from Liverpool. I think you guys just went at it full on in it right from the start. Well, it took them by surprise in a way.
You know, this is the first time Man City have conceded 3 goals in the same half since 2018, when Liverpool did it to them again in 2018. So unbelievable out the traps kind of start for Liverpool. You look at the first goal, amazing header from Konate. We're really seeing that kind of 32 million paid back now. 3 goals in a row for him, 2 headers against Benfica, now 1 against Man City. You know, and then you look at the second goal with Stefan, the incident where he's got the ball. You actually look at the replay, Rob, he almost half goes to pass it with his right foot, and he goes, actually, I won't do that, brings it back. But by the time he's done that, Mane is in right round to him and makes him make the mistake.
He's brilliant at pressing. I thought Mane was brilliant, by the way.
Amazing, man.
What a player.
Doesn't that goal encapsulate kind of what Klopp has built at Liverpool? Like, you close them down, you don't give up, and you get your reward.
Yeah. Yeah, and, Mane's been doing that for years. The whole of that, since Klopp's come in, that team's been doing that, and, it was brilliant. Liverpool, look, you see, this was really interesting for me. So, I said before, I predicted Liverpool win the game, right?
You did.
Because you guys, you 3-1 up, you're playing at home against Benfica. All right, it was 3-3 in the end, but you left all the big guns on the bench, right? And, you were going to be more prepared for this game, whereas it was the opposite for Man City. They went away from home to Atletico Madrid. It was a very, very physical, draining game, right? And then to come back and face Liverpool is just not what you need straight after that. So it was no surprise to me that Liverpool won. But the thing that I found really intriguing? Liverpool have actually got a better squad than Man City.
Yeah.
That's what I found. I was like, I looked at it and I was like, look at the 2 squads. Liverpool have got a better squad now than Man City. I don't know if you're obviously a Liverpool fan, but do you agree?
I think I would agree, considering the January signings we made. That was the tipping point for me, right? Because we bring in Konate at the start of the season, and obviously we bring in Diaz in January. Now, those 2 players alone fill positions that were a little bit light on before in terms of depth. Yes, we know we've got the 3 up front that have been the 3 for the last 5 years. You add Jota into that. You had Minamino, Origi, Firmino, obviously he's always been there. But then you add Diaz, and then you add Konate. That could, and I say this, lightly because the season isn't over, that could end up to be the best 2 signings and maybe the best season in Liverpool's history if, through our depth and our squad, we're able to win as many trophies as we can. Benny,
depth's unbelievable.
Says Stefan's not even the best USA keeper, Turner is. And if we're talking about the best number 2s, Kelleher has to be up there, scoring penalties in finals, saving penalties in finals. It really is unbelievable when you look at what he's done.
I look at it,
Leno maybe up there.
Yeah, Leno's up there.
Yeah,
number
I'd
2.
say so.
But even just going back to the squad thing, right? I look at your squad, right? So Tsimikas can come in.
2 assists against Benfica on Wednesday night Champions League quarterfinal.
Right. You on the right hand side, you can bring in Gomez to cover Trent Alexander-Arnold. Kelleher can cover the keeper, Alisson. You've got, now you've got Konate and Gomez who can play centre back, and you've got Matip and Van Dijk, of course, right? That's very strong. In the midfield, look at the backup all around there. You've got the experienced guys you can call on, like the Milners and people like that. You've got Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Curtis Jones came on against City.
Yeah,
Keita started. Hendo didn't start, Rob.
Yeah, Curtis Jones is crazy. And then up front, what I mean? Now, it used to be, if Salah's out, if Mane's out. But now you've got Jota, you've got, Diaz. No, I'm looking at it and I'm saying Liverpool's squad now is the best squad. It's better than, you know, I mean, I know City's squad's good, but when I look at some of the backup, I think Ake or Kanate, I'd rather have Kanate, you know what I mean? I think they've got a better squad. Listen, City have still got an unbelievable squad.
Yeah, unbelievable.
But I think Liverpool's squad now is better. And I think it's going to be really interesting. If Liverpool don't win the league this season, next season will be interesting if you know, because that squad is good. It's
unbelievable.
Strength in depth.
It really
they've
is.
just sort of slowly put together, haven't they? It's like
under the radar a little bit as well.
They just kind of slowly
That's how we
put
do
that,
our stuff, man.
Yeah, they slowly put that
it.
together, man, and that's looking good.
Do you know what? We should mention as well the fact that there were some unsavoury moments from a minority of fans, City fans, who allegedly booed the Hillsborough minute of silence.
Yeah.
Which obviously the manager Pep had to come out. The club had to release a statement about this as well.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
I mean, that is for those fans that did that. And again, we're not painting the whole of the City support with this brush, but the fans that did that, it's absolutely disgraceful.
Honestly, there's some fans. Sometimes at games they astound you all the time. It's just like, and sometimes they'll be doing these things, and everyone's just looking around on them. Their own fans will be looking around and going, really?
What are you doing?
Come on, what are you know, honestly, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
It really was. And there was also, I mean, we poked fun at it a little bit on the Klopp TV, but they didn't fill the allocation, Man City. They had to have a Man City massive flag to cover up about 1,000 seats, which was visible as the players walked out. So, you know, the empty had Wembley. Could be some similarities there. But listen, it is what it is. Liverpool go through to the final, and we are going to preview Liverpool versus Manchester United tomorrow as well. But let's go back into the Premier League.
By the way, let me just say on that vote, should it be played? Should the FA Cup semi-finals be played at Wembley? 64% saying yes.
Wow. Okay.
So people like it at Wembley. I'm surprised by that. Maybe I'm just a bit old school. I remember the days when those semi-finals were played on a neutral ground. I used to love it.
Yeah.
And then save the special event for the final.
But then again, if you're a Palace fan and you might not get to the final, you want as many Wembley dates as possible to have a big day out.
I mean, that's the special. That's why it's the special part of it. You know what I mean? You're only gonna get that day if you get to the final.
Yeah, that's true. Listen,
that's how it should be. You're not just willy-nilly everyone turns up at Wembley.
Well, let us know in the comments. We've said already,
opinion,
and 60, how many? 63% of you say it should be at Wembley. There you go. Right, let's move on to the Premier League. I think we start off in reverse chronological order. West Ham yesterday drawing at home to Burnley. I actually did say this in the prediction battle that there would be a draw. I don't think Matty's had a good week as well, by the way, Rob. West Ham have only won 3. This is unbelievable. West Ham have only won 3 of their 10 Premier League games that have immediately followed a Europa League match this season. That's why I predicted a draw. No team has drawn more Premier League games this season than Burnley with 13. That's now the most draws the Clarets have ever had in a single Premier League campaign. It was 1-1 in the end. Let's talk first about that horrendous injury that we saw to Ashley Westwood, where straight away I think it was Vlasic was in tears, Rob. He couldn't believe what had happened.
It's one of those shockers.
Shockers, man.
It's one of those shockers. The only good thing about it is that, you know, when Westwood was being carried off, at least he was sort of, you know, waving to the crowd, a little bit of a smile. Yeah, but
that was good to see, to be fair.
Yeah, horror injury.
They didn't show the replay as well. Which
anytime they don't show the replay, anytime players you see visibly even the opposition team visibly upset, you know it's going to be a big problem. He went straight to hospital after the game, and let's hope he's going to be, you know, that he'll be back. Obviously, it's going to be a very long rehabilitation period. Sometimes if it's like a clean break, they say you can actually build that back better. So let's hope he can be back on a pitch very soon. And they actually responded very well to that Burnley, because straight after that they went and scored.
Yeah, workhorse.
You know, went 1-0 up, and then they missed the penalty. You know what I mean? That you know, and funny, I don't know if you saw with that penalty, Cornet took the penalty. But it's actually, I think it was, I forgot his name now. He had the ball. He was going to take the penalty initially.
Weghorst.
Not Weghorst. What's the other forward player? I've forgotten his name now. But he was going to take the penalty, and Cornet said no. He was the one who had been fouled, Cornet. He said, I'll take it.
Had the confidence.
Went and missed it, man. And that was a costly miss, because really and truly, it's not a bad draw to go away and draw at West Ham, but they needed all 3 points. And, that's really disappointing for Burnley. For West Ham, it's the squad thing again, isn't it? What we talk about. They're in
Jay Rodriguez. It was.
Jay Rodriguez. Yes, that's
penalty,
right. That's right. They're in the Europa League. They had a great result, Thursday night, but they just don't have the squad to be playing those high turnaround of games. I mean, actually, I'm looking at that stat. We've got them coming up, and that's in between, I think, a Europa League game as well. So, it's always us though who goes and mess those stats up. You know what I mean? But it just shows you that they don't have the squad to cope on both fronts. Now, what are they going to do now between now and the end of the season, West Ham? Do they say to themselves, we're going to put all eggs in one basket and just go for Europa League? They've got Frankfurt in the next round. I think that's winnable. Get to the final, probably beat RB Leipzig. They've got a real big chance to win that and then go automatically into Europe through that.
I mean,
so
that would
do
be
they
incredible.
just say, do they sacrifice?
This is the
Do they
question.
drop certain, because they ain't got the squad? Well, they go and play that game yesterday and Bowen's out for 3 games, or Antonio or Dawson or any
Rice,
of these important players. Declan Rice, God forbid, picks up just before that semi-final, picks up a little niggle. It can happen. I've seen it at Arsenal where just like that, a couple of players just go down. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see what they do about the league. But that was a bit of a damaging defeat yesterday. Well, it wasn't a defeat, but a damaging draw for them.
It certainly was. Luke in the comments says we're going to win the Europa League. Big West Ham fan. Nikita says West Ham will win the Europa League.
Well, listen,
it's not easy though. You look at Frankfurt, just knocked out Barcelona
Frankfurt just
away
knocked out Barcelona
at the new camp.
They're gonna be a very
easy one.
and that won't be an easy game over there in Germany. I'll tell you. You saw how many fans Frankfurt brought to Barcelona.
Turned
right?
it
Those German
white and
fans
black.
are nuts.
That's it. I think their colours are white and black. I think.
Yeah. They had 30-odd thousand fans there. I've played. I've been to Frankfurt.
You've been,
They're very, very well supported team. Like a big team in Germany that just doesn't normally do a lot in the league, right? So I'm telling you, that's not going to be an easy game.
Would
and
you
if
say
they could possibly face Leipzig in the final? Leipzig are a very, very good team. So do they put it all on that, or do they try and go through the league? They had an opportunity with so many other teams in that top 4 dropping points, and they didn't really take advantage of it.
Yeah, if you look at West Ham's fixtures, it's Chelsea away on Sunday. Then it's, of course, Frankfurt at home in the Europa League first leg semi-final. West Ham, Arsenal on 1st of May. The second leg away in Frankfurt, and then away at Norwich, at home to City. Obviously, Liverpool fans hoping that they can do something there. And then away to Brighton on the last day of the season. So West Ham fans, let us know, what are you going for?
Tough
What do you want
games.
the most? Do you want that Premier League highest position finish you can get, or do you want the Europa League? Another interesting question that I think we should do a poll for, Rob. Other fans that aren't West Ham fans, let's say Arsenal, you can be any fan you want. Do you want West Ham as the English club to win the Europa League as the neutral? Me personally, as a Liverpool fan, I'd quite like to see West Ham win that, to be fair.
Yeah, you know what?
Difficult question for Rob.
You know what?
Because,
you know what? Right? What?
It's a techie one.
I have a problem with West Ham actually, and I really like the guys from West Ham Fan TV. I love Nicky.
Yeah, man. Nicky's always on, isn't he?
Nicky and those guys, man, they're great guys, and you know what? They've been. Yeah, you know what? I want them to win it. I do.
Okay.
Even though I never hear the end of it from them. Even though they'll be like, "Oh, you guys got to the final, you didn't win it." But I'll take it for this. I would like to see West Ham win that. I really would like to see West Ham win the Europa League final.
And if they win that, listen.
And I think
Champions League,
and what an achievement that would be for David Moyes as well. He's been brilliant there, and I think that's a team that's had so much years of suffering. West Ham, and growing up as a youngster, right? West Ham were a big.
It's like Frankfurt, what you just said there.
Yeah,
Maybe they're
yeah.
the West Ham of Germany.
The West Ham are a huge club. West Ham. When I was growing up, I say this all the time. The biggest clubs in London were Arsenal first, then Tottenham, closely followed by West Ham. Not Chelsea, West Ham, then Chelsea. If they could get to they'd bring so many fans there. They got a huge fan base, West Ham.
They do.
So Yeah, I wouldn't mind West Ham doing it, you know, especially if we could get into the top 4. I'd take it, you know what I mean? But I think, you know, looking at it now, they played 33 games. They're on 52 points. That's 5 points off Tottenham, who are in 4th place. I think yesterday they kind of blew any chances of getting into the top 4 during the league, but then you don't know with the chaos of that top 4 thing. But I think they probably messed it up.
Interesting. Let us know, West Ham fans. We will get back onto that poll as well.
And Burnley,
we've asked you.
Yeah, Burnley, by the way, that was damaging for them. You know, 31 played now, right? Which is 1 game more than Everton. Everton on 28 points. Burnley on 25. That would have been a huge win yesterday. Would have took them to be within a point of Everton. I really think it was, you know, missing that penalty was really damaging.
It really was, and it's not looking good for Burnley now. 7 games to go. And let us know again, do you think the final 3 that do go down are the 3 that are in the relegation zone now? Let us know. Let's move on to another team that are in Europe, and this was Leicester losing yesterday with the last touch of the game at Newcastle. It's unbelievable. I was watching that game. Since the start of February, Newcastle have won more points from losing positions than any other team in the Premier League. That's 10. In this period, Eddie Howe's side have only lost 2 of the 6 league games they have conceded first in. I mean, you watched the game. It was really end-to-end. It was almost like a basketball game, this one. Bruno Guimaraes gets that first goal, the equaliser, which after VAR, I mean, Schmeichel was trying it there. He didn't even have 1 hand on it, let alone 2. That was unbelievable. But then Guimaraes again, Matty Renta must have been going absolutely bananas yesterday. Guimaraes. Scores that header with the last kick of the game, and it absolutely finishes Leicester.
Hero at Newcastle. They were overjoyed when they signed him because he's the first of the really big sign. It was a big coup. Player that was linked with Arsenal. I get really annoyed to see that because at the time, with Arsenal from last year, we were interested in buying him, didn't. Newcastle, obviously, they got the money now, went in, managed to tempt him away. I thought that was quite significant that they tempt him away from Lyon in January. Yeah. Right? That shows me that they are going to be serious in the transfer market. They must have said stuff to him to give him certain guarantees that he thought, you know, because there would have been a lot of other clubs in for him this summer. And he's showing his worth already. I mean, that was a huge goal yesterday. It's safe now. Safe now. They ain't going to go down. Look what they are 12. Is it 12 points? 12 points.
37 points, yeah.
Yeah, 12 points ahead of Burnley. There's no way Burnley are going to get 12 points from now till the end of the season. Or Watford, or Norwich. They're safe. Huge goal. The place is buzzing up there in Newcastle. And Eddie Howe. Give it up for Eddie Howe. Very underrated. Remember, I think people forget what he did. Taking Bournemouth up, keeping them in the division for years. A lot of people always focus on the fact that, Bournemouth went down. But he kept a small club like Bournemouth in the Premier League for years. Mm-hmm. I think when he got that job, a lot of people were just thinking, all right, just see it through to the end of the season and then see you later, we're going to go and get a bigger manager. But he's proved that he is the person to at least start that project. Yeah. And that was a massive win for Newcastle, and they're safe now.
It really was. There was an interesting comment here that said, don't forget the run by Willock that made the second goal possible.
Yes, it was a great run by Willock, and then he cut it back. A bit fortunate, sort of hit a deflection, but then, you know, Guimaraes with a great header. I love diving headers.
You can't beat a diving header in the last minute.
In the last minute, a diving header in the last minute.
There's nothing better than that.
Oh, man.
Bring back diving headers, actually. I don't see them enough. I really don't see them enough.
The sun was shining up there in Newcastle, which you don't do a lot.
No. Matty will tell you that. Guimaraes has more goals than Lacazette, says
that's crazy.
Jay Sattel McKee. Unbelievable there.
Yeah, no, he's done brilliantly.
Yeah, massive win that for Newcastle. And Brendan Rodgers, Leicester, obviously massively involved in European knockout stages as well. They play Roma in the UEFA Conference League next week, which again, if they won that, puts them in the Europa League. They did have that season in the Champions League, of course, when they won the league.
Yeah, listen, they picked up form recently, Leicester. They've had a real up and down season. There were people even talking at one stage about sacking. You know, which I thought that was ridiculous, sacking Brendan Rodgers. But listen, we call it a Mickey Mouse Cup, that Conference League. But
Leicester.
I think for a team like Leicester, if they were to go and win that, you're back into Europe after having a season with all the injuries and everything, and it's a trophy.
Yeah,
it's a European trophy. So,
it really
still could end up being a half decent season for Leicester if they could win that, and I think they're good enough to win it.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable result that for Newcastle, and the way it finished, last touch of the game as well. You'd be gutted if you're a Leicester fan that had travelled all that way up in the gods to see that.
Yeah,
great game though, great advert for the Prem. Again, another big win. Manchester United 3, Norwich 2. Now,
Ronaldo
again,
3.
We were covering this on the Saturday football show on Saturday, and as the goals started flying in for United, they were 2-0 up. All of a sudden, it's 2-2. And you're thinking, typical United, they go ahead, can't finish their dinner. And again, Rob, I'm getting sick and tired of this guy. Ronaldo bails them out again. This can't keep carrying on.
To think, and I had this discussion the other day, to think there's United fans saying, oh, we need to get rid of Ronaldo, or there's people criticising Ronaldo. He's done his job.
He's done his job. 15
He's
league goals
done his
now.
job, the guy. You know what I mean? In the Champions League, he bailed them out. In the Premier League, how many times has he bailed them out? How many times has he come up with them big... I think the game against Norwich away.
Yeah.
Remember that game? They weren't even playing well in that. They won that 1-0. That was Ronaldo as well.
Yep.
I'm sure of it.
Yep,
you know, he's world class. That's why I've been saying all along, I think they've got a great chance of getting the top 4 because of him. Because of him. They got players, they got a killer up front in Cristiano Ronaldo. Another hat-trick.
And a
this
free
is
kick,
ridiculous, man.
Rob. And he hasn't scored a free kick for a long time. There was a funny video of a United fan filming the TV going, oh, here he is. Don't know why he's still on free kicks. He never scores them. And then he sticks it into the top corner. Unbelievable.
Nah, you know what I mean? He's world class. And you know what I mean? And what would they have done without him this season? There's people saying, oh, yeah, but he stopped this one from playing and that one. Listen, you build your team to adapt around a player like that because he's world class. I mean, I heard them saying that, you know, they said when Ten Hag comes in, he'll be gone.
Yeah.
Well, they better get some good people to replace a good player to replace him because he's unbelievable. He is.
He really is. And listen, he scores his 15th league goal for that free kick, which takes him back up the table in terms of the top goal scorer as well. Just on Manchester United, we should bring to you this news that we are getting in around 13 minutes ago. And again, we don't know much, but I can read you the headline. Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United star, involved in car crash with quotation marks. So obviously we don't like to hear that. No. It does say though, however, no parties involved are understood to have sustained serious injuries in the collision. Let's hope it's...
that's good to hear, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to be seeing that.
In the collision, obviously, to the massive game at Anfield tomorrow, this was this morning. And again, we reiterate that no parties involved are understood to have sustained serious injuries. So we hope
thank God for
everyone's
that.
okay there for sure.
Don't want to hear that.
I know,
he's a vital player for Man United as well. They don't want to be missing him either.
He really is. Let's get into Super Chat. United fan Dara. As a United fan, I know we've been shite. I just love reading that out about United, to be honest. But we have the moment players like Bruno and Ronaldo to clutch fourth.
They do. They do. They do have those players. He's right.
It's not a sustainable model, though.
It's not listen, Man United have had a horrific season, even if they do get fourth, right? Because they should have been challenging for the title, right? So it's been a crap season for United. But that guy's right. Out of the teams that are going for that fourth place, none of them have... Well, Tottenham have got Harry Kane and Son. United have got Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes, right? And that's what could get them over the line. These, world-class players. Yep.
And they were really bailed out yesterday by one of course, the best players of all time in Ronaldo on Saturday. And again, he's in decent form going into the Anfield game tomorrow night, which we will talk about.
Interesting.
Let's shout out to Norwich, to be fair, because they won at Old Trafford. Sorry, Dean Smith won at Old Trafford with Aston Villa this season. And if he'd have won on Saturday, he'd be the first ever Premier League manager to win at Old Trafford twice with two separate teams in the Premier League. Great comeback, it really was. It was 2-2. Timo Pukki scored, who again, too little too late from him this season. And it looks like Norwich will definitely be going down now after that defeat.
He's been relying too much on him over the years. So let me just go back to this one. Kirikos says, I'm a West Ham fan and 40. I've never seen my team win anything. I'd have been happy to win a League Cup, but winning the Europa League could very well be a once-in-a-lifetime event for me.
It really could be. And we have got that poll up. The neutral fans, do you want to see West Ham win it?
At the moment, 77% are saying yes.
Wow, that's big, Rob.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of votes. I actually agree with that, though. I do think.
I got one to ask the neutral fans.
Go on.
Right, before I forget, we'll get around to it probably later.
Can tell what's coming.
Do you want to see Liverpool win the
go.
quadruple? Neutral fans only.
And if you say no, you're jealous, and that's the fact. Right, let's go to Southampton. Southampton kept their first clean sheet in 6 Premier League games, having conceded 15. Rob, in 5 matches before today, that's 3 a game. Arsenal, on the other hand, have lost each of their last 3 Premier League games, having lost just 2 in their previous 13. It's their 3rd run of 3 defeats in their 3 seasons under Arteta. The word disappointment springs to mind here for me. And again, you've seen me. I've been backing Arsenal to... I feel disappointed for you because I've been backing Arsenal to get into that top 4. You've just lost to Crystal Palace, Brighton, and now Southampton without scoring a goal against all of them.
No, he scored a goal against Brighton.
Scored 1 against Brighton. I do apologise. However, well, I mean, you take over. You must be upset at this one.
So upset. You know, I mean, we were in a great position to try and get the top 4. You looked at the 3 games. You said to yourself, all right, tricky to go away to Palace. Actually, we ain't got a good record there.
Yeah.
Actually, we ain't got a good record against Brighton either.
At home as well.
And we've got a bit of a dodgy record when we go away to Southampton over the years as well. But if you're going for the top 4, those are games that out of those 3 games, you're expecting at least 7 points. And, you know, I'm not going to fault... I faulted the effort against the Brighton game. I thought we were lacklustre, we were poor, you know, and Brighton deserved to win. I think it was a little bit different on Saturday. I think that Arsenal did. The effort was there. It was basically a story of Southampton against the run of play, got a goal. Arsenal were on top, had chances, didn't take them. And then they just basically parked the bus after that. I mean, they parked the bus the whole game, really. They never once played the ball out from. That's what I noticed with them. You could see that, like, obviously, Ralph Hasenhüttl said, listen, we got pumped 6-0 last week. Listen, we're just going to go. We ain't doing nothing stupid today. All we do, no playing out from the back, no pressing Arsenal high at the pitch. We're just going to sit in. And that's what they did. And then we just couldn't break them down. And I think where the deficiencies are showing now is, you know, I spoke earlier on about Liverpool's great squad. I think it's completely the opposite when it comes to Arsenal. I've been saying this all season, a good starting 11 if everyone's fit, right? Like, take a couple of players out, or, you know, Partey's out, Tierney's out, and the players that are coming in are not up to the same standard, and we just can't play the same way without those players missing. Which is exactly as I said, opposite to what I was describing with you guys earlier, where, you know, Tsimikas can come in and in the midfield, Keita and this and that can come in. We ain't got that. And we just couldn't break them down. And then I think the other thing where this has to be on Mikel Arteta and the owners of the club is they got rid of Aubameyang, right? And listen, there's Aubameyang wasn't really firing anyway when they got rid of him, to be fair. But they got rid of Aubameyang and they didn't replace him. I thought at the time I said, that's criminal. How can you not, if you're not going to replace him, you may as well keep him. Yeah. Because they ain't really getting no money for him. I mean, so I don't understand that. I just really don't get it. You should have just kept him or replace him, right? And then now we've got no strikers. You know what I mean? We've got Eddie Nketiah, who worked very hard on Saturday. I'm not going to fault him. But he hasn't scored a goal all season in the Premier League. We got Lacazette, he was out with COVID, but, you know, he's only scored 1 goal from open play since Aubameyang left. You know, those are our 2 strikers. You know, it's hard to quantify as an Arsenal fan that's been used to, over the years, having Ian Wright and Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp and these sort of strikers up front, to go to like the strikers of the caliber we got now. It's just not.
Well, you mentioned the strikers that you have got. Lacazette has come out and said these following quotes: "I'm in discussions with a lot of clubs. I am open. I want to play in Europe. It's been a long time since I played in the Champions League. I'm missing it." I mean, is that high talk for someone that...
Well, this is, number one, you don't come out with that now. You're in a team trying to get into that. But again, that's the fault of the guy's looking at his future. He's a footballer. He's looking at his future. That's the guy that we've kept. We've kept 2 guys that are leaving at the end of the season. Lacazette's contract is up in January. Sorry, he's in the summer, and so is Eddie Nketiah. Neither of them will be there. It makes no sense to me, right? But then we went and got rid of the other guy and didn't replace him. It makes no sense whatsoever. So, he's thinking about his future. It's very ill-advised to say those things, though. You know what I mean? I don't know when he said that or where, but he should have just left that. He should have just left that. But he will have a lot of teams.
Well, he's mentioned Lyon
after him,
right?
Yeah, he was at Lyon, wasn't he?
He said he's never cut contact with Lyon. I tried to return to the club once or twice. I'm not too sure if this is a direct quote, to be honest. But obviously, Lyon is his former club.
Yeah.
And they are going to be
ill-advised
in the
to come out and say anything right now, because listen, the fans love Lacazette. They've always, again, a guy who never ever gives less than 100%. But at the moment, he's badly off form. And, we're struggling. And that's not what you want to hear when you're struggling, you know what I mean? I just think it's,
Yeah, 1 win in 5 for Arsenal, not looking great.
Shocking.
Especially after
4 defeats,
the run before.
And despite that, we still got a chance of getting the top 4.
It's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous,
and he's still in 6th, 31 games played. United just above you, 32 games played. Same amount of points. I bet you're hoping for a Liverpool win tomorrow night.
Of course I am.
Well, let's see if
and you'll never
oh, now he's saying it right, let's move on to the next one. Watford 1, Brentford 2. And if you actually cast your mind back, Robbie, to I think it was Wednesday, Matty Renton on the prediction battle said Watford will win this one, and we said, are you all right, Matty? We've won. They've lost 9 home games in a row. They lose this one in the very last minute, Rob. This was a 95th minute winner for Brentford away at Watford. Watford are now only the 3rd team to lose 10. And I repeat, 1-0. This is double figures now, guys. 10 consecutive top-flight home games in a row after Birmingham City in 86 and Sunderland in 2005. And the only second to do so in a single season. That was also Birmingham as well.
You've got to rate Watford fans, haven't you? You've lost 10 home games in a row and they still turn up. I mean, big up to Watford fans, man. And
must be horrible, that.
I think that those owners are getting what they deserve.
I mean, Liverpool lost 6 in a row at home last season. Considering when we had all those injuries.
Yeah, but that
10.
was no fans and all that. It was but
10, man.
Honestly,
wow.
This sack. You know what? Look at this, right? When I think about this sacking the manager thing, right? So you look at the teams in the bottom 5, right? Which is Norwich, Watford, Burnley, the bottom 3. Yeah. Then the other 2 that are, Everton,
flirting with relegation.
Every one of them have sacked their manager.
Yep.
What's it done? Really got him anywhere?
Well, Leeds, you could potentially argue that
Leeds might get out of it only because of the poor runs
rubbish
of the other
them.
teams. Everton sacked their manager. Lampard's coming. Ain't really made a difference. No. Burnley, they've sacked Sean Dyche. They didn't get the bounce back. They still drew you. That seems like a crazy decision to me. Watford sacked 3 managers. Norwich sacked their manager. They're all, those 3 at the bottom.
They were
all
the first
sacked
one
their
to sack the manager, weren't they? With
Norwich. Yeah, those three, they're all going down. So whereas Brentford, who are up into 11th place now, by the way, have stuck with their manager. Remember they were going for a little bad patch as well. They stuck with Thomas Frank, and now look at 11th place. They could finish in the top 10 finish.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It'd
be crazy.
Finish
Brentford,
in the top half.
I think they've had a brilliant season.
Yeah.
Brilliant season. And Christian Eriksen's come in there. What a signing that's been. I mean, what's been the best signing in January? You probably say Diaz, right?
Eriksen's up there. Kulusevski's up there.
I think Eriksen's possibly been the best one. He's, when you think of the chance they took after the fact that he's had the heart problems and stuff like that. I mean, I call him at the moment. He's like a Superman.
Yeah.
How's that guy able, after all what happened, able to play at that level?
Unbelievable.
Premier League level,
it really
90 minutes per game.
It is one of the stories of the season. And, Who knows? He might end up back at Tottenham in the summer. I know Conte has mentioned it in the past.
He won't be Superman no more if he goes back there. At the moment, you're Superman, yeah? At Brentford. But if you go back to Tottenham,
be a sideman if he goes back there.
We'll still love and respect the fact that what you've recovered from and that. But then some of the hate's going to return as well because you go to Tottenham.
Yeah. And I'm sure he'll understand that.
I'm sure he'll understand.
But listen, a massive win that for Brentford. And again, they could finish in the top flight.
Watford are gone, by the way.
But Watford,
22 points.
They are gone. 6 wins all season, which is actually just 2 less than Everton in 17th. Yeah. But 22 losses for Watford. It does not make for good reading. It really doesn't. Right, again, Brighton seem to have dominated North London again, Rob. I don't know if you were happy or sad watching this one.
I was very happy, but I didn't really...
I knew we still had just beaten you as well.
We still had our game to come. What was very ironic about it was, when we done Best of Enemies expressions there, sitting on a sofa.
Brighton Munich, I think, was
Munich, and him sitting on a sofa with seagulls behind him and the coaster. Now, he wasn't saying that after the game. Spurs were dreadful. Again, another bottle job. That's the thing. You got these teams going for that top 4. They're all bottle jobs. Spurs knew that if they won that game, they'd have a huge advantage with all the teams having to play after them, right? They won last week, and Brighton were brilliant. Brighton deserved to win that.
Of course.
They were brilliant. And what they did in that game, Brighton, is they just put Basuma. Literally, the tactics went like this. This microphone here is Harry Kane, right? This bottle here
Top tactics we've got here, by the way.
Top tactics. I'm telling you how the tactics went. So this microphone is Harry Kane. This bottle is Basuma. He just went everywhere. Every time, every ball played into Harry Kane, right? He just went.
No. Again, amazing display of the tactics that were worked.
So they nullified Harry Kane, and they know that if you nullify Harry Kane, there's no creativity in that Tottenham team, and that's how they won the game. Simple as that.
And it was a great finish.
And then they were brilliant on, they should have scored before that, and then great finish by Trossard, great result, and who's going to get that top 4? It could be anybody. It could be anybody, because look, you look at the weekend, we lost to Southampton. Tottenham lost to Brighton. United at home, remember, scraped a win in the end, they were 2-0 up, scraped a win over the bottom team, Norwich. West Ham blew it against Burnley.
Who wants it?
Who wants it? Does anyone want it?
Does anyone want it?
Ain't them good enough for it? You know what I mean? It's, all of those teams, to me, I'm looking at the Premier League, and you look at it, you say the top 2 teams, elite, they barely lose a game. Then you got Chelsea just kind of behind them. But then after that, it's a big gap between those top 3 teams and the rest.
Well, you say that.
The lack of consistency is staggering.
You say that, and Neil sums it up perfectly. Thank you for the super chat. The reason United have a chance at top 4, it's not because of Ronaldo, it's because Tottenham and Arsenal drop points for fun, and that just backs up what you just said.
Yeah, there's that. But then United can drop points as well.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. You don't know. It's going to be a very interesting top 4 race. I mean, you look at it, Arsenal, the games we got coming up, we've got Chelsea on Wednesday night. We've got United at the weekend, then West Ham. But Arsenal's the sort of team that can go and get a result at them places, despite the fact that they've lost it. It's so unpredictable.
Just no consistency. It's
no consistency.
The Premier League, again, throws up so many surprises week in, week out. That's why we believe it is the best league in the world.
It is.
An amazing, another weekend of Premier League results. Let's look forward, because again, a massive week in the Premier League. We've got midweek fixtures this week, because there's been so many games that have been needed to be rescheduled due to COVID, etc., that we have find ourselves watching Liverpool play United on a Tuesday night at Anfield, and it's not the Champions League.
It's crazy. You have to get that.
Definitely isn't. Let's go through some stats as we look forward to this one. Liverpool are looking to complete the league double over United for the first time since 2013-14. United are winless in the last 5 away games against Liverpool, netting just 1 goal in these matches. They last had a longer run between 1970 and 79. Liverpool won the reverse fixture against United, and how could we forget? It was a massive 5-0 at Old Trafford this season. Only once in a single Premier League campaign have they netted 6+ against the Red Devils. We scored 6 in all comps in 08-09, while their most they've scored against them in the league season is 9. So 5-0 winners in October, a result that allowed United to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer effectively. Maybe it was a couple of games after that. But is their win against Norwich going to put them a little bit more
listen, it's
better stead for this
their
one?
only hope is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Is that
so defend well and hope Ronaldo can pull something out of the bag. But I can't see it. Can't see them going to
I spoke to
get
Flex on the Thursday night last week when we had an amazing DR Sports dinner at the Rum Kitchen. Big up to the Rum Kitchen. And Flex said it's not going to be close. It won't be 4-0. It won't be 5-0, but it'll be about 3-0, he reckons, to Liverpool this one. And that's a United fan.
I think I agree with him. Unless United can defend well.
It's a massive question mark.
Because listen, United go there and get a point. That's a great result for them. Great, especially with how everything's tightened up now within that top 4 race. If they were to go there and get a point there, then they got Arsenal after that. That would be a great result for them. But Anfield,
it's tough, mate.
Plus the rivalry, plus the fact that they don't. The last game Liverpool want to lose to is Man United at Anfield. It's a night game. I think that's worse for Man United.
Yeah.
I think a 3:00 kickoff or a 4:30 or a 12:30 kickoff would have been better off for them. A night game at Anfield
under the lights.
It's not worked out good. You can't even look on it and say, well, Liverpool had that game on Saturday, so they both had games on Saturday.
Massive games.
So there's no advantage that way. I can only see one winner. It would be a monumental slip up if you were to lose that game. I mean, listen, if United did win that game, the game that would mess you guys up, they'd dine out on that.
Yeah.
So there's big incentives for them to do
They'd
something.
have DVDs if that one.
If United, I'll say this: I think if United win that game, they'll get top 4.
Okay.
I think if they win that game, the confidence that will give them going into all the games for the rest of the season, they'll get the top 4. But I can't see them. Anfield's been... he lost a game there this season, haven't we? In the Premier League, haven't we?
We haven't lost this season, but with fans actually in the stadium, we haven't lost at home since 2017.
Yeah, I can't see.
So the omens aren't good for United. Let us know in the comments what you think the score is going to be. I'm going to be there myself, sitting next to James Redmond and Ruby. Really looking forward to that one at Anfield tomorrow night. United fans, are you looking forward to it? We've seen in the comments here, United fans saying Maguire masterclass incoming. I don't know if that's sarcastic at all.
No, but listen, it could be what... Listen, defend, and then Maguire rises up, bangs a header in. You never know, man. I mean, that's the only way I can see. Or Ronaldo, gets a goal and they defend. I can't see any other way they're going to win that game. They're not a good enough team. They've got great individuals, but against a team like, I remember when we played Liverpool, you got just one error and you're dead. And we played well against Liverpool, right? So, and that was Arsenal. So, I can't see anything. But listen, it's the Premier League. Who knows?
It really is. Only hope for me is Ronaldo and VAR, says Brad the Lad, a United fan. Going for a 3-1 win for Liverpool, says Glenn. I'm still cautious, says Yusuf, as a Liverpool fan. Of course you would be. It's United. It is still them. The few times I want Liverpool to win, says Need More Rage. And a Maguire scorpion kick, says Dennis. I'm not too sure about that. If that happens, I will do this show.
With the Champions League.
I will do this show... I don't know. I mean, Robbie might not want to see me naked. I was going to say that. But at the same time, we're going to have to do something mad if that happens, because it just won't happen. Apparently, Bricky TT says there is a 0.5% chance United will win at Anfield. They have got no chance. Their defence is fully dead, and Ronaldo will get caught off more. Ronaldo will get caught offside more times than United will have chances.
But listen, sometimes in football, man, Who would have thought the other day Frankfurt would go and beat Barcelona in that game?
Exactly,
Right,
and
so
convincingly as well.
Never write off anything in football, man.
Yep, let's look ahead again to another massive London derby on Wednesday night. Chelsea versus Arsenal. Chelsea are looking to complete their first league double over Arsenal since 2015-16. They, of course, won 2-0 at the Emirates earlier this season, back during a time when we thought Lukaku was going to be the next big thing. Because he absolutely punished Pablo Mari. Oh, what a miss that was. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Arsenal won this exact fixture 1-0 last season, courtesy of an Emil Smith-Rowe second ever league goal for the club. The Gunners haven't won back-to-back away league games at Chelsea since '97. Was that the season when Winterburn scored that long-range goal?
Might have been. You've got some...
Oh, mate, I've watched Premier League years pretty much all my life. Amazing goal that by Nigel Winterburn.
That's a banger.
But, Robbie, it looks decent because Arsenal are unbeaten in the last 11 midweek league meetings with Chelsea, which isn't bad at all. They've won 5, drawn 6. So the omens are pointing to maybe an Arsenal win here, Rob.
I don't know, man. The way we've been playing, those injuries have killed us, man. As I said, I think if we would have been going there with like our full strength 11, I'd have a lot of confidence going to Chelsea. Even though I think Chelsea are a good side, you know, and on their day they can beat anyone. You know what I mean? On their day, Chelsea, even with you guys,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, we've got them in the final.
they'll
don't
give
we?
you a tough game. You know what I mean? And can beat you. You know what I mean? They should have beaten you in that Carabao Cup final. I think they had the chances. You know, but. Do we carry a slight advantage into the game? The fact that they've had so many tough games recently, I don't think so. I think. Listen, I mean, that could be 4 defeats in a row if we don't win that game. It's effectively the game in hand that we've got. I'd take a draw, to be honest.
Take a draw.
I would take a draw, just to stop the rot of defeats. I'd take a draw. You know, there's still a lot of points to be fought for in that top 4 race. Can't really afford to lose. But I'd take a draw. I mean, a win and the top 4 race is back on for Arsenal.
For sure it is. And Arsenal really do have to win this game.
But it's going to be really tough. Chelsea are a good side.
Especially
Although, you know, we did see Brentford go there the other day and sort of take Chelsea apart.
We did.
They have had some little funny results. So...
Listen, Chelsea are always throwing out strange results, even when they're on top. I feel like they do get beat sometimes, and when they do get beat, they get beat. But let's know in the comments. Massive game that at Stamford Bridge, Wednesday night, under the lights, Chelsea versus Arsenal. I, for one, can't wait for that. These games are always intense. There's a lot of rivalry, obviously being a London derby. But yeah, let us know in the comments. We've got Fraser going 3-0 Chelsea. Ouch. Wow, 3-1 Chelsea, says Aspie.
If we play... I don't know. Listen, the game that we played on Saturday, we basically played against a team that's just, you know, had no ambition, parked the bus and caught us. Chelsea are not going to really play like that. Chelsea will have a bit more of a go. It's going to be interesting to see how number 1 Arsenal cope with that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, what Arsenal can do. We're not scoring goals. That's the big problem with Arsenal at the moment, is that we're just not scoring goals. I don't know if Lacazette will be back in time for that game, but we're not scoring goals. So it's
Prediction?
1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Score draw, says
1-1
the Don himself. Ivan going for a Lukaku hat-trick. Not too sure about that.
Listen, the thing is about us, right? You'll have these records that you've spoken about, and then we will go ruin them.
Yeah,
they'll be like, "Oh, that teammate." I mean, Brighton coming into the game against us, you know, they'd lost 5 out of their last 6 games, and then they come and smash us. Then go and smash Tottenham.
Yep.
You know,
a lot of predictions coming through. None of them, to be honest, are in
none of them. No one's
favour.
going for us. So maybe that's a good thing, because in the last 3 games, everyone said, "Yeah, you're going to win that, Robbie." Yeah, so maybe this works out better. Everyone's just saying, "Ah, yeah, we're going to get battered." So
who knows? 3-1 Arsenal, says Jordan. Martinelli masterclass. You'd like a bit of that,
Martinelli does well against Chelsea. He didn't have a good
Scored
game.
there.
He didn't play very well at the weekend. I thought he was very, very, very quiet at the weekend. We're relying on a lot of very young players as well. That's the problem at Arsenal. And with young players, they have patches, don't they? So...
Big up to Stevie Fraser, by the way. Robbie is a weird mix of optimism, but with a really sad and resigned face today. Actually, my number 2 rated Gooner behind Ian Wright.
Is it?
So that's not bad.
Listen, if I'm rated behind Ian Wright, man, thank you very much for that, man, because he's my number one as well.
And do you know what? He's one of my number ones as well.
Yeah.
Within the whole scene. AGT, do you think Chelsea will switch Lukaku for Kane in the summer? If that happens, that will cause absolute uproar with Tottenham fans and Harry Kane.
Harry Kane can't go to Tottenham.
There's no way he
never
can go.
because,
No, he can't go Chelsea.
Sorry, he can't go to Chelsea. They go, that'd be. I mean, they still haven't got over the Sol Campbell thing. If he ended up going to Chelsea, he'd have to move up north somewhere and travel in to train and things like that.
He'd have to move to like Inverness or somewhere.
Yeah, Tottenham fans wouldn't be having that. I'll tell you, that'd be it'd be interesting to see if he does move. I think if Tottenham get into the top 4, he'll stay. I think if they don't, he's got to go in. He can't.
Listen,
Player
we've
of
had
his
Matisse
calibre
on here on the Saturday Football Show. He's been very clear in saying, at the end of this season, you get rid of not only Lukaku but Werner as well. So Chelsea are going to have to bring in a striker.
The thing is about it, right? A lot of these Chelsea fans are saying things that those could have happened in the days of Abramovich.
Yeah.
The ownership's going to be sorted because I think they're going to find out
Deadline
this week.
on Wednesday, apparently.
Yeah, we're going to find out this week who the new owners are. Is it Wednesday?
I think it might be
They're
Thursday.
trying to make a big
actually.
announcement before our game.
I think it's Thursday.
Right, but anyway, so they'll find out who the new owners are. But the new owners ain't going to be able to just bin a £100 million player.
They might have to keep him.
Yeah. You know what I mean? If those days are over where Abramovich could just say, yeah, let's just bin him. I don't think you can. Certainly they can't bin both of them. They're going to have buyers for those. Who's going to be able to buy Lukaku? He cost £100 million. Or do they just take that loss? I don't know.
Or do they try and get some money back? We don't know. He's on 325k a week as well. Maybe a chance for this is what Matisse said. You do a 3-year loan, and he goes Juventus. He might go to Atletico. Like a Morata.
Who's paying half of that?
Listen, I don't know. That's why it could be a loan move. Who knows? Let us know in the comments what a show it's been. We've spoken about the FA Cup semi-finals, Chelsea winning and meeting Liverpool in the final. We've also spoken about all the ups and downs in the Premier League. And, of course, we've previewed what's to come in the Premier League this week. Liverpool versus Manchester United at Anfield tomorrow night. Does it get better than that? And then Wednesday,
we're going to be covering that here.
Arsenal, Chelsea. And, of course, we will cover that on DR Sports. Please do stay with us the whole week. We've got a great week of content coming up. Neutral fans, do you want West Ham to win the Europa League? 1.4k votes on this one, 77%.
What about the Liverpool one?
Let's get the poll up if we can on the Liverpool poll.
I don't think we've seen the neutral fans want Liverpool to win the quadruple. Did we do it?
Did we do that poll in the end?
Did we do it?
Did we? No, we didn't.
No, he didn't.
But,
thank you.
Do you know what? As we asked it, Robbie, there was a lot of no's that came in. So maybe it's for the best that we didn't. Obviously, I'm still hoping and praying that Liverpool can pull off the quadruple.
Can they win the quadruple?
Do you know what? I'll answer your question now. Can they? Yes. I think it's clear to say that we can do it.
Yeah, that's obvious.
But will we do it? Do you know what? It's so massive, man. I'm going to go for yes. Why not? I've said we can do it, so I'm going to say that we will do it.
If they do it,
that's got to be the best achievement.
Yeah, that's the best achievement.
That blows everything else out of the water, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Great time to be a Liverpool fan.
But,
unbelievable.
On the other hand, what if at the end of the season...
We'll do a poll now. Let's do it right now. Let's get a poll up right now, Rob. Have a little chat about it before the votes come in. But neutral fans, we've said natural fans there, it should be neutral. Neutral fans, do you want Liverpool to win the quad? We've already had 109 votes already. Let's have a little prediction about what we think that's going to be.
If they do it, greatest achievement by any English club ever. 100%. Could also... I noticed like when they've been asking some of the Liverpool players, they very wisely
don't want to talk about it.
Don't want to talk about it, and that's a very wise thing to do because you could also end up finishing with just the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, listen,
if it all goes wrong,
it could be 1, it could be 4. City could win a double.
But I do think, if I'm looking at it, I think you win the Champions League. I think you win the Champions League.
7, yeah?
I think City are going to win the league.
Okay.
FA Cup against Chelsea won't be easy, man.
No, listen, I'm not saying it will be easy, but you have to choose a winner.
Chelsea are a good team, but they've lost a lot of cup finals. Probably you might do a treble.
Which still would be unbelievable.
Yeah, although a treble, Carabao Cup, Carabao Cup, the treble I just said. So it'd be Carabao Cup,
FA Cup, Champions League.
FA Cup, Champions League. I'll call that a 2.5, man. That ain't a proper treble.
All right, Rob. Well, let's not get into
because the proper
right
treble. You see what
I
it is?
know what the proper treble
what it is,
is.
right? If you
I
did
know
do
what
that,
it is.
if you did do that, you'd have all United fans going, "No, we won the
I
FA
know,
Cup.
I
They won the
know,
proper
I know.
treble." Let's be real. So, but the quadruple would be. That's it. I think every United fan. I don't know. I don't think you're going to get many votes off of this, right?
I reckon
there's a lot of fans there, and if you know people like him, imagine facing people like him, Doyle, Drifty,
Oh, Drifty would be...
Paul Machin,
Big up
Red
Paul,
Men
man.
TV, Chris. No.
He is absolutely sweating on this, by the way. And the poll results are in. Neutral fans, do you want to see Liverpool win the quad? Robbie, a massive 61% of neutral fans have said no. They've said no. They don't want to see Liverpool win it. I actually
there's a few
did as well.
Scousers in that as well.
Yes, a big 39% of people do apparently want to see Liverpool win the quad. There it is on DR Sports, the weekend roundup with myself and DR himself. Of course, like I just said, a massive, massive week of football on DR Sports. This is the best place to be at the weekend, on a Monday, and during the week as well. We're covering it all. Thank you so much, Rob. We appreciate it. Oh, let's go for the shakedowns. Let's go for a classic one. Happy Easter, guys. We'll be back with you next week. But until then, take care and stick with DR Sports. Take care.